Trojan Sports Now.
Hello and welcome to Trojan Sports Now. I'm Danielle Percival.
And I'm Jonathan Sellers. Stick around as we bring you the latest news and scores from Troy Sports.
The Trojan men's basketball team began their season last Friday night on the road in Oxford, Mississippi, taking on the Ole Miss Rebels, who won the SEC tournament just a season ago. The Trojans rallied in the second half, but it wasn't enough as the Rebels took the season opener 69-54. Troy cut the deficit to 10 points in the second half, but that was as close as they could come. The Trojans were out-rebounded by Ole Miss 53-38. Only two Trojans scored in double digits, with both Tevin Calhoun and Kevin Thomas contributing 11 points. The Trojans then returned home Monday night for the home opener of the Phil Cunningham era and treated fans to a routing of LaGrange College. The Trojan men's basketball team picked up the first win of the Phil Cunningham era Monday night with a convincing 102-69 defeat of LaGrange College. The Panthers scored first, but that was the only lead they held all night.
This was a game that we scheduled with a purpose. We knew we were opening up at Ole Miss, and then 6 days later had to go to UAB. And if you look at our non-conference schedule, those are two of the toughest games in our entire non-conference schedule. So we wanted to get a game sandwiched in between there where we felt like we had a good chance to win.
Troy led by 32 at the break and by as many as 37 in the game, holding LaGrange to only 27 points through the first 30 minutes.
In the first half, we did what we were supposed to do. You know, we held them to 21% shooting, although we gave up too many offensive rebounds, non-offensive rebounds. We did what we were supposed to do. Shot 61% from the field, got good high percentage shots, played fast, played efficient.
Hunter Williams led all scorers with a career-high 26 points and 8 rebounds, including 19 points in the first half.
Ole Miss did a good job on him, and he was 1 for 7 Friday night. And we talked to his coaches before the game. We said we all had a consensus thought that Hunt would come out guns blazing, and he did.
Well, I was looking to be aggressive. I wasn't necessarily looking to score, but it just turned out I was hitting tonight. Actually, I missed my first 3, and then saw a couple go in and started to feel better about it after that.
Though the Trojans had an impressive offensive showing, Cunningham knows his team needs to improve in other areas.
Our team has to establish more of a defensive and rebounding mindset. Right now, our mindset is probably we're going to outscore you, and you can't win at a high level with that mentality, and we're trying to change that, and we've got to change it quickly.
That's one area where we can improve is on defense and definitely rebounding. That's what we want to get better at every day.
The women's team also began their season on the road on Friday, but just up the road in Montgomery at the Dunn Oliver Acadome, taking on Alabama State. The Trojans opened their season with a victory 77-67 over the Hornets. That marks the first time the Trojans have opened the season with a win since the 2005-2006 season. Preseason All-Sun Belt selection Joanna Harden led the team with 12 points, with 3 other Trojans also scoring in double figures. Troy got after the Hornets defensively and forced 32 turnovers, which is the most the team has accumulated under head coach Shanda Rigby. Then on Monday night, the women's team had their home opener as well, and before the men put up 100 on LaGrange, the women's team showed them how it was done against Florida A&M. The Trojan women's basketball team had a tough contest Monday night, but used a 20-4 run to close out the game, winning against Florida A&M 100-88 to move to 2-0 for the first time under head coach Shanda Rigby.
This was another one of those pivotal moments in our program, trying to rebuild and turn it around, because it was a very hard-fought game. There were many times it looked like the other team had it, and not one single player anybody we put in, nobody gave up. Everybody kept fighting, which put the last 5 that were on the floor that put the game away, put them in position to win it.
The teams were tied with just under 5 minutes remaining in the game, but Troy held the Rattlers to only 1 field goal in the final 5.5 minutes of the game, and that was thanks to a change in strategy.
In the second half, at one point, we finally changed our defense. We changed it twice at the end. We had been in a man-to-man the whole game. It kept us close with them, but I didn't think we were going to win with it. We changed defenses twice, and so when we came down and changed defense and we saw them take a step back, I thought the coach was going to call a timeout. They didn't really know what to do with it. I knew then we needed to step on them and get urgent, and it was time to make a run.
All 5 of Troy's starters scored in double figures, with Joanna Harden and Ashley Beverly Kelly both topping 20 points. With the fast-paced system the Trojans run, the key to success is confidence.
As a shooter, that's what you have to believe. Like, every time you shoot it, it's going to go in. Because if you don't think that, you're not going to shoot it with confidence. And that's what I learned. The coach has been helping me in practice. They just tell me to shoot it. So that's what I do, just shoot it.
It's just the faith and belief we got to have that when it hits somebody's hands that's open, we don't want to pass it for the next shot. We want to take the first shot.
The Trojans reached the century mark for the second time under Rigby, but this season, the team has added motivation for reaching 100 points.
We have an agreement. If when we hit 100 points, I have a dance. So, you know, that's our 100-point dance. Every time we hit 100 points, they like to see the moves I've been working on that week. So, but the game was so tight at that point, I really couldn't cut loose like I wanted to, but anyway, next time.
With Monday night's 2 victories, that marked the first time since 1995 that both teams had put up 100 points on the same day. It last happened on January 23, 1995, when both teams beat Chicago State. The men won 140-31, while the women had a 124-58 victory.
With the conference tournament starting in Troy in a week, the volleyball team knew it was time to step up and pick up some wins to secure their spot in the tournament they will host. Friday night, Troy got a huge win over Arkansas State, a team they had never beaten before. The Trojans won the match in 4 sets. After dropping the first set, Troy came back to win the next 3. Kayla Pickert had a career game, posting a career-high 21 kills on a .500 attack percentage. Maria Zelenovic had 20 kills, while Blair Winston added 18. One win down on the weekend, but the Trojans needed one more to feel a little better about their chance at the conference tournament. Amy Alston was there on senior night.
Home game of regular season, the Troy volleyball team finished strong on senior night. Saturday night, the team had a tough 5-set match against UT Arlington. After 3 sets, Troy was trailing 2-1, but came back strong in the 4th and 5th sets to claim a home victory for their seniors.
It came down to making plays, and in the end, our seniors came through. All of our players really were fighting for them to try to get a win at home, and it was really nice to see the last couple nights starting to get back to where I thought we'd be at the beginning of the season, and I'm really, really proud of what they've accomplished tonight.
After falling behind 2-1 in the first 3 sets, Troy came in strong in the 4th match to take a 20-10 lead and then tied the Mavericks at 2-2, demanding a 5th set. Although UT Arlington took the lead early on in the final match, Troy came back to win 15-13, but as head coach Sonny Kirkpatrick tells us, 5-set matches are nothing new for his team.
We should be used to close matches by now. I told them the other night that 10 of our losses were by a total of 40 or 38 points. So if you have a 4-game match, that's 1 point per game. If we score one more, right now we'd be 21-9, but we're not. So, you know, we're used to the close games. I think that helped us a little bit.
Alexandra Alexander and Courtney Cohen were the 2 seniors recognized before the game. Alexander had a double-double with 45 assists and 15 digs, while Cohen recorded a match-high 31 digs, the 630-plus dig performance of her career. Kirkpatrick said that these girls contributed a lot to his team and fought hard throughout their 4 years at Troy.
Everyone left some plays out there, but when we really needed critical stops and critical plays, they really came through and did their job and what they worked for 4 years.
The Trojans are now 11-9 overall and 5-10 in the Sun Belt, but hold the 8th place spot in the standings. Well, baseball won't begin until mid-February, but we now know who the Trojans will be playing. The 2014 schedule was released this week and features 31 home games for the Trojans and 10 games against NCAA regional teams from a year ago. The season begins on Valentine's Day at home as Northern Kentucky will visit for a 4-game series. Other home games on the schedule include games against Central Michigan, New Orleans, and South Alabama. 39 of Troy's 56 games will be played in the state of Alabama.
Still to come on Trojan Sports Now, the Trojan football team has their final non-conference game of the season this weekend, and it's one of 2 final chances to reach bowl eligibility.
And with football season winding down, let's take a look back at one of the most thrilling games of the season, the Trojans' homecoming victory against South Alabama. Stick around for more Trojan Sports Now.